Trump is having a meltdown over his economic policies getting trashed by the Wall Street Journal. And rightfully so. Think about it for a minute. You mean to tell me you didn't think for 1 second that these tariffs wouldn't work? Either you are an economic idiot, which we pretty much think he is, or you are absolutely out of your mind. You are stark raving mad because everybody in the world has said this wouldn't work. Who else besides the Wall Street Journal said it? Oh, Goldman Sachs. Who else besides Goldman Sachs and the Wall Street Journal said it? 200 economists. They actually signed a piece of paper saying that Kamala Harris's program would work a heck of a lot better, that tariffs would be harmful. Not to mention several former economic secretaries talking about secretaries, treasurers. I mean, it's across the board, not just from the Democrats on the Democratic side, but from the Bush era, from the Reagan era. I mean, this was set to happen. This was set to go down. And what we've been saying for the longest is that this would lead to disaster and recession. And guess what? It has. What a surprise. So here we are in a situation where his feelings hurt. Oh, who could we be feelings hurt? Yeah, forget you. Point is, and I didn't mean forget, you know what I mean. Point is, I'm trying to tell you, this guy is going down, and so is Elon. Their policies and their procedures are shotgun approach. They don't have a clue of what's going on. You know, there was a really big economic person I've been DMing back and forth with, really smart. And he said, you know what? I'm really not worried about Trump. He said, I would have been worried about Trump if he was slow and methodical. He knows he doesn't have the perceived power. How do we know he doesn't have the perceived power? Because he's saying he's winning. How could you be winning when you've had 34 court cases and 33 of which you've lost? Yes, in actuality, we're winning. And people aren't saying that enough because the Democrats are stupid, because they're idiots. Only a few have said it. I've only heard a few, like Jasmine Crockett and AOC talk sense. You know, like Chavez, Cesar Chavez makes sense. There's a couple of other ones that have made sense. Everybody else sounds like they're freaking nuts or they're living in the 1940s, like Chuck Schumer, like my own Senator Dick Durbin here in Chicago. It's like we are dealing with antiquated approaches to things that are moving faster than us. How do we know that? This very weekend, we had that deportation and the judge slapped it down, thank goodness, but he didn't act quick enough. They weren't acting quick enough, and they knew they weren't. The Trump administration knew they weren't, so they ended up deporting hundreds of people to El Salvador. It is a hot mess. It is a hot mess. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. But over time, it will get better because the reality is they may be good at execution, if you want to call that execution. They're breaking the law, but they're very poor at effectiveness. They're not effectively doing that. That's why they're losing the court cases, and things turn right back around. We're going to win.